Excellency. And now the Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Adriano Afonso Maleiane, Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique. I request protocol to escort His Excellency. I have a great pleasure in welcoming His Excellency Adriano Afonso Maleiane, Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique, and I invite him to address the Assembly.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished heads of delegations, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am highly honored to participate in this 77th session of the General Assembly on behalf of His Excellency Felipe Jacinto Nyusi, President of the Republic of Mozambique, who, for agenda reasons, cannot be present. I would like to congratulate His Excellency Ambassador Kisaba Korosi upon his election as President of the current session of the United Nations General Assembly. I wish him much success in this mission. Let me also commend the work done by your predecessor, His Excellency Mr. Abdullah Shahid. Under his presidency, we have strengthened multilateral mechanisms in support of member states to address global challenges such as COVID-19. To His Excellency Mr. Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, go our words of appreciation for the wise manner in which he led the work of our organization. Allow me also, on behalf of the Mozambican people, to thank you all, United Nations member states, for the support which contributed for the election of Mozambique as non-permanent member of the Security Council for the term 2023-2024. This election, we take it with great responsibility, basing on the motto of our candidacy, international peace and security and sustainable development. We will advocate for the dialogue and for the peaceful resolution of conflicts, for the promotion of peace, for the fight against terrorism, as well as for the role of multilateralism as an important tool to address the current challenges of the world. Mr. President, Excellencies, the theme of current session of the General Assembly reveals that the world is going through adverse and challenging situations, characterized by a multiplicity of crises that are interlinked. And among them, we can highlight COVID-19, climate change, and humanitarian crises with their negative effects on the global economy. The emergence of new outbreaks of internal tensions and interstate conflicts, terrorism, international organized crime are affecting negatively the economic and social development of our countries. They are aggravating the food, energy, and humanitarian crises. They are affecting negatively the functioning of the supply chain in international markets. That is why Mozambique advocates for the need of a constructive dialogue and concerted multilateral actions, as these are the only avenues for the preservation of peace and the continued promotion of the sustainable development of our countries. Ladies and gentlemen, For Mozambique, the Sustainable Development Goals 2030 will guide us in the search of collective solutions to problems of this time of change, which is also the theme of this session. According to our experience, the incorporation of SDGs into the priorities and pillars of our governance program has brought significant positive results in the household incomes and the fight against poverty, including the increase of productivity in agriculture and the development of the entire value chain. Also, drinking water for the population, in particular in rural areas, population with access to electricity, coverage of the primary, secondary, technical, professional, and higher education schools, rates of access and retention of girls in school, particularly in rural areas, and primary health care and vaccination programs for children, as well as maternal and child health care. It is also remarkable the expansion of services in the administration of justice, ensuring improved access to justice for citizens. We have also been promoting actions in the area of the blue economy, as well as in the protection and conservation of the environment and ecosystems. However, our experience also shows that we need to rethink the multilateral institutional financing model that will allow more resources to be mobilized to complement internal efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Ladies and gentlemen, in the context of the prevention and combat of COVID-19, the government of Mozambique has adopted a set of measures to contain the spread of the pandemic in order to ensure the balance between saving human lives and keeping the economy running. Among these measures, we undertook massive vaccination campaigns against the disease, and so far, 96.6% of Mozambican citizens over 18 years of age have been vaccinated. Excellencies, there are lessons we draw from the fight and prevention of COVID-19 for each of our countries. I would highlight the need to have national health systems prepared to respond to health crises, which involves the provision and universal access to medical equipment and means necessary for prevention and treatment.
De responder efetivamente às emergências da saúde pública. Reforço à educação e formação profissional.
Strengthening education and training of health professionals, and strengthening bilateral and multilateral cooperation, as well as greater interaction and dialogue between public and private actors to respond more effectively to crises with global impact. Mr. President, Excellencies, climate change places Mozambique under permanent surveillance. In recent times, our country has been cyclically and intensively affected by depressions, tropical cyclones, rains, and strong winds, floods and droughts that have caused loss of human lives, displacement of persons, extensive damage to infrastructure, and socio-economic activities. Just between 2019 and 2022, Mozambique was hit by cyclones Idai, Kenneth, Guambe, Shalan, Ana and Gombe. In order to respond to the challenges related to the reduction and risk management of natural disasters, Mozambique, in coordination with the countries of the southern region of Africa and cooperation partners, established in 2021 in the Nacala Porto, north of the country, the Center for Humanitarian and Emergency Operations of the Southern African Development Community. This center is aimed to provide SADC countries with tools and institutions capable of responding to and mitigating the impacts of climate change and other emergencies requiring rapid, coordinated, and timely intervention in any member state. Mozambique is committed to continue strengthening climate security, including advocacy and dissemination of good environmental protection practices, management, and risk reduction of natural disasters. These actions reinforce the role that His Excellency Felipe Jacinto Nyusi, President of the Republic of Mozambique, has been playing in his capacity as champion of disaster risk management in Africa, a mission assigned by the African Union. In this vein, we call on the international community to join our efforts so that we continue to build resilience and adaptation capacity to address the effects of climate change, in line with the commitments made in the Paris Agreement and the Sendai Framework. Mr. President, Excellencies, with regards to consolidation of national peace and reconciliation, Mozambique has made remarkable progress in the process of disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of former Renamo guerrillas. To date, 4,002 former Renamo guerrillas of a total of 5,221 have been covered by this process. We foresee by the end of this year the conclusion of the DDR process, which will be an important milestone in the implementation of the National Peace and Reconciliation Agreement signed on August 6, 2019, between the government of Mozambique and Renamo. With the completion of this stage, we will focus on long-term reintegration and more effective reconciliation, which is crucial to ensure the sustainability of the peace process and the consolidation of national unity. The remarkable progress we are making in the DDR is due to the valuable assistance and support of the United Nations and the Contact Group. To prevent terrorist actions in some states in the province of Cabo Delgado, the government has adopted a broad approach to reinforce the forces of defense, to stabilize the situation and create a situation to provide for the socio-economic development and reduce vulnerability factors of communities to terrorism. Thanks to the actions undertaken by Mozambique, combined with the support and assistance of multilateral and bilateral cooperation partners, including SADC, the European Union, and Rwanda, we have made progress in combating terrorism. Mozambique's approach is a pioneering one in terms of concerted regional action to address the global threat of terrorism. The ongoing actions on the ground are enabling the re-establishment of security and consequently the gradual return of the population to their areas of origin and the resumption of economic and social activity in the regions previously affected by terrorist actions. And this through the implementation of the Cabo Delgado reconstruction program. So I wish to express our appreciation to all those who directly or indirectly have supported Mozambique in the prevention and combat against terrorism, in providing humanitarian assistance, and in rebuilding the economic and social fabric of the affected areas. Mr. President, Excellency, at the service of the Security Council as non-permanent member, I reaffirm Mozambique's commitment to the principles and objectives of the United Nations. We will listen and work in close collaboration and coordination with all UN member states. Thank you.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the Prime Minister of the Republic of Mozambique for the statement just made, and I request protocol to escort His Excellency. The Assembly will